Winton,
Huh?
what are you doing?
Chilling, baby.
Why are you wearing glasses?
Oh, I'm about to get to that money, baby. Gotta look good for the money, baby.
What money?
The money I'm getting back on my taxes. I'm getting $1 million.
Says who?
Me. I filed myself.
Oh boy. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to ask our tax guy on this.
Our tax expert is here? Mm-hmm. Let's show him my paperwork.
Yeah, we're have a lot of problems. I'm your host, Elsa Regalado.
I'm Winton Francis.
On today's show on Expert Tips, we have our tax expert, Carlos Cruz.
From the Perpetual Finance Group.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Welcome aboard, my man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for being on the
Happy
show.
to be here.
Tax expert.
Yes, sir.
Man, where were you all my life, man? I've been filing bad taxes, man.
Hey, man. Better late than never.
Oh, man, you here in Miami?
Yes, sir. We're based out of Brickell, Miami.
Oh,
Right in
nice.
the WeWork offices.
You don't look like a tax man.
Do I?
Do not.
You don't look like a...
Absolutely
You
not.
look like my old tax guy.
Yeah, and looks can be deceiving, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, absolutely, and I do get that a lot.
So how long you been doing taxes?
I started since 2017, and it only took me 1 year to learn the trade and go independent in 2018.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So how'd you start doing that?
I got introduced to another guy who was based out of Miami Gardens, who actually has had his tax office for well over 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody introduced me to him, a good friend of mine, saying that he needed help in the office. And at the time, I actually needed money. So I figured, why not? Like I said, that was in 2017. It took me about a year to actually, just literally one tax season, to like really know and understand the business. And I just went forward and decided to do it on my own.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What tax myth do you find yourself debunking over and over again?
One thing I always constantly hear is like people like the first thing people ask me, are you a CPA? Are you a CPA?
Hey.
Are you an accountant? I mean, if that was the case, if you needed to be a CPA to do that, then TurboTax wouldn't exist.
Okay.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
you don't need to be a CPA to go ahead and do that on your own, whether it's at home with TurboTax or with a personal tax consultant like myself.
Okay.
So I would say that was probably the number one asked question at all times.
So what would I need to make sure that I give you the right paperwork for myself to do, taxes? I'm a single person, house, stuff like that.
I mean, the basic information obviously is going to be identification, such as your name, date of birth, social and whatnot. But besides that, your tax forms, such as your W-2, if you might have required that from your job, or if you're an independent contractor, your 1099s. And then we can go ahead and base that off. From there, we can go ahead and take your list of expenses, and then we can work from there.
What's the difference between W-2 and 1099?
So a W-2 is basically stating to the government that you're actually paying taxes throughout your paychecks, and then you have an employer who's actually paying you. Okay, so they're going to collect federal, Medicare, Social Security tax.
All from that?
Yeah. So you don't even notice it, but most people don't notice. You get paid X amount of dollars, and then X amount of money gets taken out into these accounts, and then at the end of the year, you're looking forward towards your refund. Now, somebody who's independent or independent contractor who's on a 1099 NEC or miscellaneous, they're getting all their residuals up front, and then they're going to go ahead and pay taxes at the end of the year, or I should say beginning of the year.
Okay.
Right.
Why is it that it's easy to file yourself, yet people still go to their tax guy?
I think it's a matter of convenience, to be honest with you. I think people get overwhelmed. They don't want to make mistakes. So it's just easier to pay for somebody else to render these services, such as myself. I think that's the number one reason. And just the lack of education, because if people knew what it is and the simplicity of it, I think people will feel a little bit more confident in it.
Well, let me ask you something. I have numerous jobs.
Okay.
Okay, I do a lot of things here and there.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get paid cash. Sometimes I get paid checks.
Okay.
Sometimes I get paid with other ways like, hey, we're going to give you drinks or food and things of that nature. How do I put all of that, or do I have to do all that into my taxes?
Cash is king, man.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be saying this, but cash is king. So cash is cash. Now, if you want to go ahead and report that income, such as like, let's say if you're looking to buy a new home or you're looking to get some kind of a big lend, you're looking to borrow money from the bank or anything like that, even to invest in your future business, you do want to be documenting all this cash so you can show the Uncle Sam basically that you're reporting all this income, and therefore increase your chances on getting a loan. Okay. Now, if you're reporting, if you have multiple streams of income, such as different employers, obviously you can't get away with that because you're going to go ahead and fill out a W-4 in the beginning of the year, indicating any exemptions and your identity as well. So you can't really get away with that. But independent contractors, if your employer is giving you a 1099 at the end of the year, again, that's tax-free in the beginning, but eventually you will have to pay taxes.
Okay. Eventually you'll have to pay the taxes.
Absolutely. So you're not going to get a refund. So, and that might be, like, for instance, I have clients like that who work for themselves or whatnot. In that particular case, they're not really looking for the refund. They're looking to go ahead and reduce what they owe. And that's where I come in.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
I never knew about that.
Yeah. As far as crypto,
okay,
which
it's a big deal nowadays.
yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
No, for sure.
What should people be aware of, and how does the digital currency impact the future of taxes?
I mean, taxes are going to be paid regardless, at least here in the United States. And one thing's for certain is taxes are always going to be mandatory, as well as death. So those are two things for certain. But as far as the paying money on the capital gains, you're obviously Uncle Sam wants to put their hands in it. So I think digital currency is definitely where it's at and more where we're going towards. But you are definitely, anytime you get any kind of capital gains, you are going to be responsible for paying kind of taxes. Okay.
Let me ask you something. What are like top 3 things that people leave behind on their taxes, like leaving money behind on their taxes that they don't, add as a deductible or, write off or whatever the case is, that they just, common things that people don't really think about?
Common things are, believe it or not, especially for anybody who has their own business or anything like that, is, believe it or not, is food, right? So food, supplies, anything that you might have needed to go ahead and conduct your kind of business, to and get from work to supply for your company growing. We can essentially write most of it off. It's the same reason why a lot of people in corporate America, such as Donald Trump, one of many, they can do a lot of tax write-offs. If you're reinvesting into your business, you can write that off.
Can you explain what a write-off is?
A write-off is essentially telling the government, you made this money, but you took that profit that you made and reinvested into the company, and therefore you don't have that money. So, such as like for instance, the very wealthy people, they get their money from whatever business that they're in, and then they can reinvest it into, let's say, a private jet, because they have to be flying back and forth and accommodating their guests.
Don't look at me.
And then they get they buy these private jets, and then they go ahead and then they charter them out. So they're actually making money on them, but they can write off these expenses. So writing off is trying to get rid of debt owed.
So Elsa, I mean, you could do a lot of the write-off on your makeup.
Oh, we got to be careful with that,
You could do cosmetics and stuff of that nature, right?
And that's where, for instance, if you had a line of business for as far as makeup, is that what you do? Or?
No, I have a construction company,
Okay.
and I also have my own boutique.
Okay, so perfect. So two different,
I pay back a lot of taxes.
Right, and then like anytime you gain any kind of money, you're gonna pay taxes. But my goal in this situation would be to reduce what you owe. Okay. As opposed to somebody getting a W-2, they're looking to get a refund as much as they can and maximize that.
Okay. Those two different things for how people deal with their taxes.
Correct.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Odd claims. I want to know about odd claims. I'm pretty sure you have a story on this.
Wait, what's an odd claim?
Odd claim?
Things that are odd that you just claim.
Yeah, people trying to always one-up me, and I have a cousin that lives with me. Can I claim him or do this and that? And I always try to advise people, listen, man, you can try to attempt to get as much money as you want, but whatever you try to get, you're going to pay back.
Oh, my God.
And then some. So I do everything legitimate. I'm a reputable guy. Everybody who knows me, all my clients have been stuck with me for years. I'm very diligent, and when it comes to this, and as far as numbers, as far as write-offs, we try to do things the right way for sure. But odd claims, yeah, I always get that 1 or 2 persons, people every year that try to claim such and such.
Yeah, that didn't go well for me.
Yeah.
I tried to claim my horses. They're like, no, lady, like, what's wrong with you?
I wish I could claim my dogs, man. I got dogs.
Well,
man.
it's called, I think it's like in the it's not like a dog.
Oh,
So
for like farmers.
Yes.
What if farmers have
so
to be able to file
I
for?
asked, they said no, because if not, everybody
It's
would be
funny
able
that
to
you
do
even
that.
mentioned farmers because you know there are ways to evade taxes like getting livestock on your property.
Right.
So if you have like acres of land, a lot of people what they do is go ahead and get livestock like
Yeah.
cows. And,
I know Rick Ross did that recently.
exactly
Yeah,
with the bull and stuff
yeah.
like that. That's all for tax purposes.
So don't get a
okay.
horse.
You get one cow, you know. See, I put it in the backyard of Miami Gardens. I got a farm now, baby.
No, you can't.
What you mean? I
No.
think that's how it works, right? Odd claim, baby. Odd claim. I've seen people try to claim like their, other people's kids, and
Yeah, people
know.
try
Oh,
to do
that's
that.
a tough one.
yeah,
I don't dibble and dabble in those kind of nefarious activities, but I definitely try to get the most out of it and for the clients.
How can people avoid tax fraud, like or being
Man.
being swindled in their taxes? Because I've seen on the news.
No, 100%.
People get their taxes taken away from them early. They're watching and like, oh my gosh.
The number one thing I would always recommend to anybody, and again, it's happened to my clients as well. The number one thing I would always recommend is trying to get a PIN associated with your account. So you can go on irs.gov. You can easily apply for a PIN, okay, and then they're gonna apply, give you a digit. They're gonna give you a different PIN every single year. It's gonna get mailed to you, and that's gonna avoid anybody trying to file under your name or file your kids.
Okay.
There's a lot of people going through custody battles and baby mama, baby father, and everything like
man.
that. Who's claiming who? So the best thing you can do is get a PIN. And anybody, IRS is never going to ask you for any kind of information. They're never going to email you or call you saying,
I've heard those calls.
If you hear somebody saying this is the IRS and you need to pay us, it's fraud.
You're right.
Okay, IRS only contacts you through the mail. Okay,
You hear that, people?
they're going to write you a letter in the mail if you owe any money, any kind of complications or anything. They're going to write you a letter in the mail.
Okay.
Okay. And then, of course, you can contact them directly just by going to irs.gov, and all the information is there.
Okay. And talking about kids, I'm
Okay.
pretty sure you have these a lot where the parents split up and then they have to claim one child.
Right.
I mean, I've been in this situation, so I pretty much know that 1 year one parent, the other year one parent. But how do you go about when there's like multiple children?
Multiple children. I mean, the client has to be honest with me. It really is a matter of trust, building a relationship, building that rapport with the client. So, for instance, if it's a new client and you're telling me that these are your kids and you're providing me with the documentation, their name, date of birth, their socials, and everything like that, and I feel I have to do my due diligence. I literally have a checklist. If I feel that you're telling the truth and you're providing all the documentation, I have to go based off of your word. Even if, whatever you're doing in your life, at the end of the day, you're going to sign off on a document saying that I did my due diligence. And if anything ever happens because you're doing, illegal activity, you would basically, be responsible for your own actions.
Have you ever had like the both parents like file the same child on the same year and it's
Yeah.
been a mess?
Yeah, exactly. And it's the same thing. It's a matter of like who gets the file first, who's rushing to go ahead and get it first. And I tell the clients, set up the PIN on their profile, and that way you can avoid it. And it's going to go ahead and mail the new PIN every single year to your address. So
Wow.
that's the best way to go about it.
That sounds like some solid advice right there.
Yeah,
solid
no, for
advice.
sure.
That's for when you have kids.
Or, to flip a coin. Hey, heads this year, tails this
You get evens, I get odds.
I mean, if you have a good relationship like that, but most people don't, so.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's always a little bit of a battle during tax season.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get involved in the personal stuff, I'm here to do a service for you, and I'm going to do it to my best of my abilities, and that's it,
So do you provide any other services with your taxing?
At the moment right now, no, we are not, but we are dabbling into credit repair as well, which hopefully this year I can go ahead and exercise that option.
Those two things kind of coexist a
Exactly.
little bit?
Yeah, it definitely does because, especially when people are trying to get homes and stuff, they want to go ahead and show an annual income high, adjusted gross income. The banks want to see, how much you're pulling in, how much you're expending, as well as your credit. So it goes hand in hand. We were already working with clients' sensitive information, so it kind of just goes hand in hand. So Perpetual will be offering that hopefully in the next coming year, and I have my agents working on that as well.
Oh, man, your business sounds nice, man.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to go to Perpetual Finance.
Yeah, you need to get your side hustles in order.
Yeah, they are all over. They're all over the place, my guy. I
Yeah.
do nighttime comedy. I do a little entertainment here
Just
and
get that
there.
LLC. I mean, and even the LLC is something very strong and important. Even if you're not necessarily like gaining a substantial amount of income, to go ahead and get that done and get the business bank account, get your EIN, so we can just basically start a paper trail.
Okay. I
Like
got
that
you.
you're actually making the
Right.
money.
Yeah.
For Uncle Sam.
Correct.
Uncle
So
Sam
that
gotta
way,
know.
when you want to go and apply for X amount of dollars, you can, show a paper trail. I've been making X amount of money for this amount of time, and then you can go and make that, for instance, if you want to get a business loan.
Okay. I was wondering, like, you said 2023. Are there any upcoming tax laws that are going to be affecting people coming soon that you know about, or?
As of right now, no. I mean, I think it's got a little bit complicated during COVID.
Yeah.
Man, it was a mess. You can't really prepare for it. I mean, the IRS, it wasn't even prepared for it. There were so many, variables that was playing into that, different programs to get money. Like I said, mentioned earlier, you guys off camera, the PPP boy.
Yeah, they were going ham.
Yeah, like, so there's a lot of people that was involved in that and stuff like that, and they were giving out credits towards that, but all of that has pretty much subsided. Everything's back on speed. Even the tax deadline is back in April, as opposed to the last 2 years they had extended the deadline. So, but everything's pretty much back up to speed. Okay.
And is the money coming back to the people going back to speed? Because I know it took a while for some people to get their checks.
Right.
Direct deposit or a
No,
check.
but everything's back up to speed. So, like, for instance, if you file with me electronically, it generally takes up to, the official answer is up to 21 business days, right? If you look on the IRS, it takes up to 21 business days. But generally, when you file with me electronically, it takes up to 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's not that bad.
No, it's
Yeah,
not
that's
that.
a
You
lot
get your
faster
direct
with you.
deposit, right?
Nice.
So
Okay.
and we do offer cash advance, of course.
Oh, okay. Well, look at that.
Up to $6,000.
I'll be in the club in no time.
Well, we had spoken about that. You don't look like your typical tax person.
Okay.
So tell us a little bit about that commercial that you did for your
That
tax
thing was
agent.
player.
It was just a fun spin on taxes. I mean, taxes is usually something that's mundane and boring. I remember as a child just going with my parents to file their taxes and just being there for hours in the middle of Hialeah and just people just coming in and out and just waiting. And it's very boring, very tedious and dealing with numbers. So I just wanted to do a fun spin on it, make something a little bit more funny and something that caters more towards the young audience. Somebody who may not, necessarily be relying on their parents to file the taxes for them, but somebody who would see that on social media and be like, you know what? This guy's very personable. I want to go ahead and, see what he's about.
Right, because character is definitely a strong suit.
Like I said, for sure. It's all about building relations, not just in my business, but every business you're in is all about building relations. Whether you're in construction, you said something about construction. I have a buddy who's in construction, and man, he's made a lot of deals just by being very personable and making these relations and able to secure these contracts.
I mean, you don't want to trust somebody with your money with bad characters.
No, absolutely. If you see somebody looking shady or anything like that, obviously you're going to be a little bit more standoffish when it comes to that. This is very sensitive information. So if you know somebody's like trusting me with their sensitive information, that says a lot about me and my character.
Right.
So.
Hey, man. Thank you, Cruz. Appreciate your time.
Absolutely,
man.
I know, but we're not done.
Okay.
I need a story. I know you have a good story.
Oh, man. Nah, we don't got no stories.
Yes, you do. There's no way. You don't have a funny story.
I mean, nah.
Somebody blew their tax a little too early. Soon as they got the check, they were like, it's gone through the bag.
I mean, listen, once we get the funding and we get that approval, we get, it's out of my hands. I submit the application. It gets through the IRS. The funding goes to the banks. And once the client gets funded, it's out of my hands, But I definitely have some funny characters and some clients, and they definitely take care of me. I take care of them, and we build relations, like I said. Funny stories? Nah, I don't have any really funny stories. Like I said, it's not my line of work. If I was maybe like,
that's disclosed
I'm sure you guys have
information.
funny story in this line of work, doing podcasts.
Nah, I seen my neighbors with their tax money. So when they get a check, you see a brand new Lexus, Mercedes,
That's terrible.
a little white Tesla.
But what they should be doing is like taking that money and reinvesting that money.
That's what I say. But nah, they gonna throw some 24s on the Impala.
No, I mean, listen. What you do with your money is at your disclosure. Whether you pay off debt or want to reinvest into yourself or your business, or you just want to splurge a little bit. That's completely up to you.
Right. I mean, it's your money. You like you said, you took all that money, put it into what the your W-2, where they were taking all of those little change out for
Right.
health and fixing the streets and stuff.
Yeah,
of that nature.
and you may or may not see your Social Security when you get 60s, and
that's what I'm
yeah.
worried about as well.
1099,
that's what they're
baby, that's the
speculating,
way.
right?
Yeah,
I strongly
Self-employed.
believe. I honestly like what she was saying. Elsa, the Ice Queen, was saying.
definitely.
Yeah, no, for sure. Working for yourself is, I think a lot of people's goals. To be honest with you, I think once I started working for myself, I never looked back.
Right.
It's kind of hard to get back into that world. I think I just saw the potential. Thankfully, early, but kind of late. I wish I would have seen it a little bit earlier. You know what I mean? And thankfully, for my friend who introduced me to the other guy, I saw the light at the end of the tunnel.
That's amazing.
Dope.
Yeah.
Can the clients call you throughout the year for any tax
Oh yeah, no, for
advice?
sure, absolutely. I was just dealing with a client right now while we were waiting for the production right now, but yeah, no, definitely. And then that's the whole purpose of having a personal tax preparer. We can consult about everything, future plans you guys want to do for your your businesses, your homes, anything like that. I'm available 24/7, whether it's a DM or a phone call or email.
Can you please tell our audience where they can reach you?
Yeah, no, for sure. On IG, you can hit me up at Perpetual 10X. Phone number, I guess, would be 305-801-7161. And then email perpetualfinancegroup@gmail.com.
Thanks, Mr. Cruz, tax
Absolutely.
expert, Perpetual Finance Group.
I want to see you there next week.
Oh, next
No,
week?
we're gonna take care of you guys, man.
You'll see me next year, baby. You'll see me next year.
Nah, we definitely gonna take care of you, man. Just come
Yeah.
check me out. I'm in the WeWork, Brickell City Center. Lunches will be on me. How about that?
Hey,
You come do your taxes with me. Lunches on me. How about that?
Look at that. You hungry?
I'm always hungry. We go ahead and write that off, right?
We can write that
I'm
off.
entertaining clients. So I gotta do what I gotta do, right?
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Thank
Appreciate
you for
that.
coming.
No, thank you for
We
having me.
appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Don't forget to subscribe
Like and share,
and turn on your notifications.
and leave a comment for the next expert tips.
We'll see you again next time.
Well, this has been the Taxpert Tips, Expert Tips on podcast with Elsa.
Your name?
Oh, I'm Winton Francis, baby.
Winton? Is that you?
Winton.
I'm
That
Win-
you, Winton.
I'm Winton Francis. This is
And
Elsa,
I'm Elsa Regalado.
and this is Expert Tips Podcast Show.
We'll see you next time. I hate this guy.